August 1590. A supply ship from England finally reaches the shores of Roanoke Island. The crew is expecting a bustling colony. Instead, they're met with a silence so thick it feels like a warning. 115 settlers, men, women, and children, gone. Not a single body, no signs of battle, no broken furniture. Even the food stocks were left untouched, slowly rotting in the dark. The governor, John White, rushed to the main housing area, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked for a signal, a cross, the secret mark they had agreed upon in case of a desperate emergency. He found nothing but terrifying emptiness. But then he saw it, carved deep into the wood of a massive dead oak tree at the edge of the settlement. One single chilling word: CROATOAN. Was it a message from the colonists, a cryptic warning, or the name of the entity that swallowed them whole? For centuries, mainstream historians have tried to spoon-feed us a comfortable lie. They claim the colonists simply ran out of food and assimilated into local Native American tribes. It sounds logical, but the physical evidence, or rather the terrifying lack of it, tells a much darker story. Let's look at the facts. When John White inspected the settlement, the houses weren't destroyed or burned. They were carefully, methodically dismantled. If 115 people were starving, panicking, or under attack by a hostile force, they wouldn't take the time to carefully take apart heavy wooden structures. This wasn't a chaotic retreat. This was a highly organized departure, or an extraction. Then there is the issue of the bodies. In any 16th century colony facing disease or famine, there are graves. There are bones. Yet, modern ground-penetrating radar and decades of archaeological digs have found absolutely nothing. 115 human beings evaporated without leaving a single trace of DNA, a single drop of blood, or a single tooth behind. Some fringe researchers and local indigenous legends point to something else entirely. The native tribes spoke of an ancient entity in those woods, a force that could bend reality, consuming those who trespassed on sacred soil. What if CROATOAN wasn't the name of an island? What if it was the name of the thing that took them? In 1937, a tourist stumbled upon a heavy quartz stone hidden in a dark swamp, 50 miles inland from Roanoke. Carved into its surface was a frantic, desperate message. It claimed to be written by Eleanor Dare, John White's own daughter. The stone described a nightmare. It didn't speak of assimilation or a peaceful journey. It spoke of disease, of absolute madness, and a dark presence that drove the remaining survivors to turn on each other in the dead of winter. Mainstream academics quickly dismissed the Dare stones as an elaborate hoax, but years later, rigorous tests on the carvings showed they had been weathered by centuries of harsh conditions, not modern tools. The terror carved into that rock was real. The local Hatteras tribes possessed a chilling legend that predates the English arrival. They warned of a shape-shifting entity that dwelled in the deep woods, a spirit of famine and paranoia. They believed that the deep forest could infect your mind, twisting your reality until you saw your own family as monsters. Did the colonists simply starve? Or did the crushing isolation, the freezing cold, and the whispering woods drive them into a brutal, blood-soaked hysteria, leaving no survivors to tell the tale? Fast forward to the modern era. Despite ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, and advanced DNA analysis, the 115 souls of Roanoke remain completely unaccounted for. No bones, no ruins, just a dark void in American history. Perhaps the real horror of Roanoke isn't what happened to the colonists, but what is still out there. The island, to this day, has an unnerving atmosphere. Locals report sudden temperature drops, compasses violently spinning out of control, and a whispering sound that seems to echo from the trees themselves when the fog rolls in. Maybe the colonists didn't just disappear. Maybe they were absorbed, assimilated into something older, darker, and hungrier than we can ever comprehend. If you ever find yourself walking near the shores of Roanoke Island and the mist begins to thicken, listen closely. You might not be as alone as you think. The truth is out there, buried in the darkness. But are you truly ready to find it? Welcome to the Vantablack Files. Hit subscribe to enter the archive. And remember, don't look behind you.